Hi everyone, my name is Oluwasegun Adesanya and I'll be taking us on this course Introduction to Cloud Computing. But before I do that, I would like to congratulate all of us because if you are watching this now, that means you have been accepted into the Cloud Computing Bootcamp course 2. So I welcome all of us into this bootcamp. And now we'll be doing a short introduction to cloud computing. And right now, what we want to do is we want to do a time travel into the future. Like what exactly is cloud computing? So if you are starting, it might be kind of, wondering what is cloud computing? Is it like we put something in the cloud or we fly like the name in the cloud? When cloud developers or the cloud DevOps want to, make this thing complicated there. I put it in the cloud. I did this, I did this. What exactly make up the cloud? So in this bootcamp, we'll be starting our journey from the genesis of cloud computing. What do you need to know? You start with the genesis stack, building the skills upon another, trying to understand the first thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Because one of the problem in navigating through cloud computing is people don't have an accurate roadmap, so they learn things at random, and trying to bring it together might make it complicated. So in this class, we want to look and focus on cloud computing, what make up cloud computing, what exactly is cloud computing, and in the literary sense, how can I picture it in my mind that this is cloud computing, this is the cloud. So we will be going into that right now. So let's begin. So what is cloud computing? So just like this image, I will come back to this image now. Let me just read the definition for us. Cloud computing is the delivery of IT resources over the internet. Anything you know or understand as IT resources, anything, maybe it is, let's say, maybe you are using a database, you are using a computer engine networking. I'm going to get back to it, but anything you understand as IT resources and you are delivering it over the internet, it's not as cloud computing, just as simple as that. We are still going to talk into the means, the techniques in which we do this. So let's go into a layman's language. Let's take the word transportation, for example. You say transportation is movement from one place to another. So it can either be moving yourself, you can be moving your goods, you can be moving physical or intangible things. Anything that is moving from one place to another, it tends to what in it, that's obeying transportation law. But we have different means of transportation. We have the rail, we have the road, air, water. So that's exactly when it comes to cloud computing. It's just a single definition. We are delivering IT resources. Anything you understand as IT resources, then now we want to deliver it over the internet. Before, we don't deliver IT resources over the internet. It's not like we have it now. But right now, anything you know as house IT resources, we want to deliver it over the internet. It's just as simple as that. So now picture it in this way. We say the cloud is like a virtual data center. So let's assume like anybody that knows about data center, like we have a center in which we have all our data, we have it in an hardware store in one storage or like that. So anyone that knows that, understand that we can picture it in the physical, like we have hardware, we have the store, everything. There, anything we want to do, we can go and access it, just like our drawer at home. Let's take that for example. We have different You can see different rows. Maybe the top row we have our clothes, under we have our jeans, just the way we make the arrangements. So if you can picture that in our head, then now picture it that kind of arrangement is not physical, but it is virtual. That is like cloud computing. So I said cloud computing is like a virtual data center accessible via the internet that allows you to manage your storage, such as a database. You can manage your servers, compute power, the networking, analytic, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, security service, anything, just name it. So that is what cloud computing. So you want to manage all these IT resources over the internet. Now looking at this image on your screen, you will see the blue color. Everything in that blue color we categorize as like an application. So that application that you will refer it as IT resources. Maybe you want to do monitoring, you want to write content, you want to collaborate with other people, you want to communicate with them, you want to do anything relating to finance, you have a database, you have a runtime, a compute, just name it, right? So those are what the cloud computing, IT resources rather. And now, if you look around it, you will see a laptop, you will see server, you will see a desktop, you will see a tablet, you will see an iPhone. Yeah, sorry, not iPhone, phone, sorry. So when you see the phone, so those are the devices that you can use to access your IT resources that is in the cloud. I hope you understand that. So in the blue line, we have the different application we can categorize as the IT resources. Like I explained earlier, when you are talking about transportation, you know, you can transport your goods, human being, anything from one place to another. But what are the means in which you can do this transportation, either by road, in the air, water, whatever it is. So the exact thing happens here. So how can you access your resources via the internet? You can access it to your laptop, phone, server, desktop, and tablets. So now let's picture this. If you have your physical laptop with you, like your normal PC, and you do anything like, okay, let's say you open a Microsoft Word, you open an application or anything you can do on your system, your PC. Now let's imagine this, that you have that kind of PC virtually. Everything you have on your normal PC, your personal PC, which is physical like you have now, probably you are using one to watch this. You now have that system, that your PC virtually, and you can access it from anywhere of these, with any of these, what will I call it, means, like maybe with your laptop or phone. So that means you have a remote laptop somewhere. So you might not really need to go out with laptop again. Maybe you have your laptop at home and maybe you go somewhere and you want to get something under your laptop, then you can open your phone and use your phone to access it, or open a server to access that your laptop, or maybe a tablet, you can access that your laptop from wherever you are. So that is a whole picture of it. If you can picture it in that way, then you are getting gradually into understanding cloud computing. So let's move on. So we are still going to get into the technical part in which I'm going to show you what exactly made up this cloud. Like, at the beginning, many of us might not understand yet, but we are going to understand what exactly made up this cloud. Okay, so follow me. So let's just talk briefly about the benefits of cloud computing. So one of the benefits, these are just few of the benefits. One of it is fast time to market. It's scalable and flexible. You can easily scale it, and it's very flexible. It's very fast. It's cost saving because you are not spending money on hardwares again. You are not spending money on networking, on every other thing that will give you what you want. But right now, everything is in the cloud. You are just accessing it in the cloud. You save more storage space. So that you have what we call a better collaboration. Like I give an example earlier, like you want to access your system remotely from somewhere else. So just think like that in terms of collaboration. So I can easily collaborate with someone. Maybe we are doing something now. Okay, take for example, Google Doc. I know some of us use our Google Doc. So when you use a Google Doc and you are typing on it and you send the link to someone else, some other place, and the person was able to go into that Google Doc and try to edit as you are editing. That's a typical example of collaboration in cloud. And have you ever asked yourself that this Google Doc, where is it saved? It is saved in the cloud. So that is why many multiple people can access it from different area. When you are filling form for this program, you see a Google form. So someone in Germany filled the form, someone in Nigeria could fill it. This could be possible with what? The cloud. Now let's take, for example, your Google photo. So in your Google photo, you have your photo stored in one phone. Then maybe one thing happened, the phone got spoiled, you couldn't access your picture again. Then boom, you bought a new phone. You try to log in with your email and you can retrieve all your pictures. How did that happen? This is only possible with what? The cloud. So you see how cloud makes life easy for us. I could remember a scenario that happens to me in the past. Then it was with my contacts. My phone got lost then and I lost most of my contacts. I know some of us will have been on this table before, but right now, even if your phone got lost, any phone that you buy, either different OS, iPhone, Android, Microsoft, just name it, you can get all your contacts back once we just back it up in the cloud. So you can see all these benefits now that is making life easy for us. Before, you have to write your contacts. I remember then we have to buy a contact book. We write our contacts. I remember my dad used to do it very well. Whenever you have a contact, you write it in his contact book in case his phone got spoiled or lost. He can get his contacts back. But we don't need to do that. So those are benefits of cloud. We have advanced security. Like I mentioned earlier, data loss prevention. You can prevent your data from getting damaged or getting lost. So, okay. So those are like just a few of benefits of cloud computing. So in this lesson, I want to go into the technical part. So I'm just, just giving a brief intro introduce for us to be able to understand this. So now I want to talk about types of cloud computing. So this will be, you are still going to go through this during the course of the program. This will even not come at first. It's going to be the last thing that you're going to learn, which is a cloud platform. You'll be learning a cloud. That's going to be the last course in the curriculum, which is a cloud platform, one of these public cloud platform. Because many people thought public cloud platform is what you call cloud computing. Many people say, oh, once I learn AWS, I understand cloud computing. That is not right. Or maybe when I learn Azure or GCP. No. It's just a public platform, a public platform. I can have my own public platform too. You as well can have your own public cloud platform. So my platform can be different from yours. So you understanding my own platform doesn't mean you understand what is cloud computing. And for you to work as a cloud developer, cloud DevOps, you need to understand the technical part of cloud native itself. So this is what this bootcamp is introducing you to the cloud native itself. So like I'm saying, we have the types of cloud computing. So we have, it's mostly three types, but sometimes we make it four. I will tell you why. So we have private and public as the major types of cloud computing. private cloud, we have public clouds. Then we have a scenario in which we have a private cloud and public cloud. So we call it hybrid cloud. So you just know that we have basic two, primary and private and public. Then we have a scenario where we have hybrid, when we combine both private and public together. So in a scenario like that, I'll give an example of those that use it. Then the fourth one, which is just common, let's just accept it as part. We call it the multi-cloud. So the multi-cloud is when you share as a shared cloud provider. Maybe in my company, we are using both AWS, private cloud, and Azure. We are using two types of public cloud, then with private cloud, we are mixing it together. So we can call that one multi-cloud. But honestly, to me, it's just a name. But the main basic one is the private and public. Then we can still accept hybrid as an option. So let's just break it down. So the private cloud is managing the whole IT infrastructure by the company. So just like the modern traditional way in which we have a data center before, we still have it. We call it the private. And this is mainly used by big companies that have a lot of data that don't want to make it public. It's mainly used by the governments because they want to make, information secrets. They want to make data, personal, personified, personified and public, private. So the public cloud, when the whole IT infrastructure is managed by the third party, like a cloud providers, they manage the whole infrastructure. So hybrid cloud is when we have private and public, like I said earlier, and this meets, sometimes it meets security and redundancy when you say, okay, we want to make some of you. So maybe the front end, which doesn't have more information, we want to make it public. Then the back end of your application, we want to make it private. So it can have that. So on multi-cloud is when there is a shared of multiple cloud providers, like we have AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, we are working together in the same company, so we can call that multiple cloud. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so now when it comes now, I want to focus on public cloud. So this shared responsibilities mainly for mm, it's public cloud generally because in private cloud, I will explain now, you see what I mean by that. So when we are talking about shared responsibility, you can see the first column, we have, the private cloud, and you can see that everything is green. And in everything that is green, it means you manage. Everything that is blue is the cloud provider manages. So in the first column, you can see on-premises, which is the private cloud. You manage everything. It's private. So that is why I'm like, it's not a concern because you manage everything. It's not a shared responsibility. So we just list it there to show the difference. So you have all the responsibility. So we don't categorize that as shared responsibility. So now let's go to public. So the other column, which is this three, is now the public cloud. So in the public cloud, you can use the cloud in three different services. You can use the cloud as infrastructure as a service. You get to understand this term. Or you can use the platform as a service, or you can use it as software as a service. So if you are using the cloud as infrastructure as a service, so that means what you are telling them is, okay, this cloud platform, we only want to we only need access to, okay, we only need access to data. We only need data and access. We need application. We need runtime. We need operating system and virtual machine. So that is the only thing that we will manage. But you will be the one to manage the compute, the networking, the storage. So you just want to rent this space as an infrastructure as a service. That is what we just need it for. That is what we need it for. Just want to rent the infrastructure, then every other thing you will manage it. But when it comes to platform as a service, what that means is, okay, we want to rent this platform, but the only thing that we want to be responsible for is the application we are going to put in this cloud. And of course, all the runtime, the operating system we are going to use, the virtual machine, compute, we don't want to care about it. We want you to fix that for us. So that is like we want to run the platform. We just want to put in our application in the cloud and let everything be running and, just jolly like that. So an example of infrastructure as a service is when you want to rent a virtual machine on a public cloud. So now, so when we are talking about the platform, so let's say, example, you just have your own application that you want to put in the on the platform. So okay, I want all my application, but every other thing is managed by you. But when it comes to like software as a service, then that means, well, I want to use your own software too. The only thing that is my concern is my own data and access. So one of the things I want you to note here is that in all, both in private, either private or public, in this shared responsibility, the customer is responsible for their data and access. So that is why you see this data and access. So that means you are the one to decide how you want your data to be handled. You are the one that will determine how you want your access. So the access might be the role, those that you want to give access to, those you want to give privilege role, those you want to give elevated role, you want to give a group for admin role, everything, something like that. You are the one that will determine that the cloud platform will know what choose for you. So, but like, okay, oh, your data is in your hand, how you want to manage it is in your own hand. So that is that when it comes to shared responsibility. So we are still going to, get more on this. Now, I want to go into what we call the global infrastructure. So when it comes to global infrastructure, I will spend some time here and try to do some explanation. We have what we call the region. Now, a region is defined, is considered a geographical location or an area on a map. So let's take, for example, let's say Nigeria, let's say South Africa, United Kingdom, Canada is an area on the map. It's like a country. So we can consider that as, let's say, a region. So let's assume Nigeria is a region, area on a map. Then we now go to what we call the availability zone. Availability zone is an isolated location within a geographical region. We know we already have a region, let's say Nigeria. And we now have what we call the availability zone within a geographical region and as a physical data center within a specific region. So let us assume in Nigeria now, we now pick Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, for example, that three states. Now in Lagos, we now have a physical data center. In Abuja, we have a physical data center. And in Port Harcourt, we have a physical data center. So that means we have three availability zone in Nigeria. That is just an example of availability zone. So when we now talk about edge location is just like a mini data center. So what this one does is not like a data center. What it just does is it do a catch on an information. Take, for example, you go on the website, you you type how to cook rice. So when you type how to cook rice, it will search the information online and give you a response. So what does it mean by edge location? Let us assume you type that from, uh, I'm trying to use Nigeria as a case study, let's say from Maduguri. So if you type that from Maduguri, let's assume we have a data center in Abuja. I assume that Abuja is the one that is the closest to Maduguri out of those data center. So in the real sense, because of redundancy, before it gets to Maduguri from before the redundancy to query database in Abuja from Maduguri, maybe it takes 5 minutes the first time you type how to cook rice. Then instead of it now doing the same thing, the same time, the next time you type how to cook rice, it will cache that information and put it somewhere close to Maduguri. So that the next time you type how to cook rice, instead of it taking 5 minutes to give you a feedback or a response, it will take 1 minute because it's already catch in that area. So that is why I said a edge center is a mini data center. It's only used to catch large files closer to a user location. So since it's close to your, you're just going to like store it in that location. So if you want to access that kind of information, instead of it query the database from scratch again, which is going to take time, it's just going to query it from the catch location and you are going to get it. So now, let me just explain all this additional information about it. So there are more availability zones than there are more regions. So like I explained, Nigeria, let's take it as a region. In that region, we have 3 availability zones: Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. We can have more. We can have Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Yola, Maiduguri. We can have data centers there. I'm just, just restricting it to 3. So that means in one region, you can have 3 availability zones, but you can only have minimum 2 availability zone in a region. You can't have just one. The minimum, the least you can have is 2, 3. So for one region, let's say you have 3 availability zone. So technically there will be more availability zone than there are regions. So each region is located in separate geographical area. So let's say Africa now, we have Nigeria is a region. South Africa, we have Cameroon, we have Ghana, we have Kenya. So those are what region, but they are in what like I said, they are in Africa. So availability zone is, we can call it a distinct location that are engineered to isolate from failure. So the reason why we have 3 availability zones like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt is because we isolate them from failure. So let's take, for example, the data center in Lagos is down. In that region, you can still access the cloud using the Port Harcourt availability zone. We call it AZ. If that one is down, you can still use the Port Harcourt. So now you understand the reason why we can only have minimum of 2. We can't have one because if one is down, that means that region is down. So that's the reason why we have 2 availability zones in one region. So most time we always have 3, and it's for what? For failure, to isolate it from failure. So we can easily pick it up when there is failure. Yes. So that's that on global infrastructure. I still want to go more into the technical parts. Yeah, so now I want us to move to go into the technical parts now. I can say the technical parts, like the most important parts of this class. Now, so this is where I want to introduce you to how does this cloud looks in the physical. How does this data center looks? What is it made up of? So most of the time we hear AWS, they say they have a data center. Azure, which is Microsoft Cloud, they say they have their own data center. GCP have their own data center. How does this data center looks? What makes up the data center? Now here it is. This is a full picture of, you know, a data center. You can see on this rack, we have different rack, and we have a server switch on, on the cloud. I mean, on the rack, sorry. So each of this rack make up one cloud. One cloud. We can have two or three more cloud on this. Let's just assume this is a full rack cloud. Each rack contains a full rack cloud. Then how does it look or how does it operate? So let me go to next slide. This is a picture of a data center. I will show us a picture very soon again. Now, looking at this is what make up a cloud. We have a server, maybe HP, Dell, or any maker. Then we have, this is the front, this is the back. Then we have the switch. I have the router, many other things, but the main thing. So if you should look at this diagram, the back, you will see this iDRAC. So this iDRAC is what give access into this server. So you see these two ports. So we call it the NIC ports. So that is what you connect to this router. So you can see this router, we call it 32 QSFP. So because you have 32 ports, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16, 32. So this is a 32 port, and it is 100 gig. This is 100 gig QSFP. So you can have 64 ports, you can have 16 ports, this like this 32. This is a NIC slot. So this is like the connectivity. So of course this is the power. This is the what do we call this? The cable that you can connect to this when you want to use a remote monitor, when you want to use a monitor with it, just forgot it. So it has two power source, which is for the redundancy. So when one is down, the other can be up. So this is the iDRAC. Like I said, this give access to this server. You can see this, yeah, disks, storage disks, this data, this different server. I'm just showing us this. So if you see this is the power, this is the HDMI. Okay, so I'm going somewhere. So just know these are the three main components that we call a cloud. I can have just this single node cloud apart the networking and co. Now look at what I just showed you here. Picture it and come to this diagram. I mean this image. You can see this one is just like what you saw here. It's different server. So you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, all of it. Then let me see. Do I still have another diagram? No, I think this is okay. We have this router. It can be used to connect several servers together. So like all this, okay, let me go to this data center that you see. Let's assume this. So, okay, this is not showing. Well, okay, let me go to this. So looking at this, each of these server, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like your full rack, they are connected together on the what? On the switch. So that is where most of the networking is being done. They are being connected together and it's used as a single cloud. So that is where, if you are familiar with it, we say we have a one node server. That's just a single server, like I showed you here. When you said you have a multi-node, then this is what we mean. When all these things, we have maybe all this server, and let's say this is 34 rack server, or let's say 32, for example, rack server, and this one is connected to this, so they can able to work together. The way they are being connected together is on the what? On the switch. So when it's connected on the switch, so it will be more like network routing. So we have the network to them, and we do, if we check this, you will see something here. You will see that there are a lot of cablings here. We have an uplink, we have downlink. So you see that there are different colors. So let's just go online if we can get one. Let's do this data center. Oh, okay. So, oh, oh, sorry. I'm using the wrong keypad. Oh, just a moment. My keyboard is not connected. Okay, now it's working. So let's go to data centers. We have images. Hmm. Okay, I think this should be okay. Hmm. So if you should look at this, you will see different cable color. We have yellow, we have green, we have orange. So you can see that this green, most of them they are down here. So this green you are seeing there might be an 100 gig cable. This one you see up, maybe let's say orange, this orange is going to be for the CNI. I know this term is strange. So once you get into it, you understand. So for each of the cloud networking, which is the CNI, then we have this cable, this yellow. Hmm, it doesn't have a color code, so don't have that particular color code. But each of the we have a color code for the cable from the switch to the NIC. So when you see blue, that means it is 10 gig. When you see black, it is that 25 gig or 100 gig. But more like all this one doesn't really like a standard color code. So I'm just trying to explain what this we interpret based on experience. Because the 100 gig cable, based on arrangement, is always down because it's kind of heavy. So pulling it from the top, you know, might be be dangerous and too hectic. So let's check. Okay, this. So so this is a networking cable connection. You can see this is an HP server. Okay, let me check another one. Okay, looking from this is an iDRAC connection. This iDRAC. Remember, I showed you one iDRAC the other time. I'm trying to see if there is anyone that is connected to the switch. This is another radio equipment. Let's say server and switch connection. Okay, I think I got one. Mhm. Okay, let me just use this as an example. You can see this. Yeah, this is for iDRAC. So most of the time when we have this full rack server, maybe 32, we can have three switch. One we call it the management switch, in which is connected to the iDRAC, and the two other one is connected to the NIC. So you will see that here. Do we have an image here? So I'm trying to do this for us to understand. You have a picture definition of a cloud. So this is exactly what makes up a cloud. Okay, so you can see this. Okay, this is a good one. You can see, like I said we always have three switch, one management and two network switch. So if you see this, we can see one, two, three. So although all these ones, if I look closely, all these three are management because it's RJ45. So this one are kind of, management. But let me try and look for another one that is using a NIC connection. So this, don't be confused. You get to understand this. So what I'm just doing now, just want to bring you into the pictorial understanding of how this thing is connected and how it looks and what it means. Mhm. And okay, let me do this. Okay, I think I should be able to see a network. Which, I want to show us this one is RJ45. This something like this is RJ45. It's management. This is not the one I want to show us. So let me see if I can get something like that online. I have a picture I can show, but it's more like it's a confidential, so I don't want to share it here. Mm, mm, okay. Or let me do it. Let me do QSFP network switch if I can get something like that. Mm. So exactly. So this is SFP though, but this is like a NIC slot. This is when you want to connect the NIC. This is the NIC cable that you connect into switch. I mean into the server from the switch. So this is like a NIC card. Sorry, a, a NIC cable. Yeah, this is how it looks. This is 100 gig NIC cable. This is a NIC card. This is a NIC card. You can see. So if you look at this, you can see these two slots. Yeah, that is exactly the same thing that is here. If you check this server, you will see you have these two. One, two. This is what is inside it. This is just a NIC card. You can see the network. So we call it a network card, a NIC card. So let's go back to so this is more like what make up a server aside other things like some connection to network and every other thing. So but I just want us to have a picture understanding like how does this thing. So it is in this that make up the whole cloud. It is in this server that we start installing maybe Kubernetes on, we install OpenShift on, which manage everything that we want to do in the cloud, manage our application, manages everything. So if you are new into this, you might not understand most of this basic, but when you start going into this, then you understand. If you now flashback, that is why I said from the beginning that we are doing a time travel into the future. This is the destination of where we are coming to have an understanding, okay, what is cloud, I can now operate it. So just to show you the future, then you now start from the beginning. Okay, what should I learn to understand this? What should I learn to understand this? And what should I learn to understand that? So this is how data center is. So this is just like an introduction just to say what is cloud computing in the technical way. What is the truest picture? How does a cloud? So those that have this mind, that is it in the is it in the the literary cloud? It is stored and we are pulling it, or how does it look? So now you understand what it is and how it looks. Yeah, so we are going to meet again and we will get to understand more about this. And I hope this little introduction and explanation we're able to get it. Yeah, thank you.